Well, you know, people when people look at you and they type or whatever they tell you, if somebody can look you in your face and tell you that these two women on Cris Cyborg's resume was garbage, okay? You know, this it pretty much shows ignorance and it shows a lack of knowledge of the sport. Point blank period. There's no getting around it. Okay? And you know, after a while, ignorance becomes stupidity. So the coach is going to explain what he's talking about. Stay tuned. Hadouken! All right. LDBC, this is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Okay, guys, you know, what I'm here to do, guys, is really to go in and just debunk a lot of ignorance, okay? Ignorance on TV, ignorance in the comment sections, just ignorance. And I want to talk about this fighter called Marloes Coenen, okay? This is a fighter on Cris Cyborg's resume, and then I'll be breaking down Gina Carano after this video, okay? Marloes Coenen, guys. Marloes Coenen is an MMA trailblazer, okay? Straight up and point blank. Anybody that tells you that this woman, okay? Anybody on God's green earth that tell you this woman is a bum on Cyborg's resume, it's really ignorance and there's a lack of knowledge of the sport. And it's just stupidity, okay? It's stupidity to even entertain people who would try to tell you that Marloes Coenen is not that. It's not all that. See, these people, they don't study, okay? We got a lot of people that don't study the sport. They make a lot of statements, but they can't back it up with substantiality. Well, I'm going to back it up with substantiality. I'm only giving y'all the tip of the iceberg. I'm not going all the way into my mental Rolodex because if I do, it'll blow a lot of you people that try to come on and you want to debate. It'll just blow you out the water. Marloes Coenen is a trailblazer, okay? She's one of the people. Marloes Coenen started, you know, her career way back in 2000. This woman started 8-0, and people say, well, who did she fight to be 8-0? She fought other trailblazers that were just as talented as she was, okay? The majority of the first 8 opponents that she fought, they were also talented. Marloes Coenen came in, okay, and she fought. She went undefeated her first 8 fights. That's another hard thing to do in MMA. But to come up and win 23 fights, okay, that's staggering in MMA. Anything over 10 wins is actually considered very good. But you get over 20 wins in MMA, that's hard to do. Do you know how many different ways in MMA that it is to lose? Okay, now forget who you think they fought. Do you know how many different ways that it is for you to lose in MMA? There are so many ways for you to lose a contest in mixed martial arts. And people not considering all that when they look at, oh, she's just a bum. No, you hadn't done your homework. You haven't done your homework. You sat, you maybe looked at Sherdog, because that's what a lot of people do. They look at Sherdog and they think that that's the end all instead of looking at the fights, looking at the credible opponent. Go through these resumes. But see, the average person that want to discredit Cyborg, they too lazy to do that. They ain't going to put no work in. They too lazy. That's why. That's why you're not going to debunk anything I'm saying. That's why it's not going to happen. See, look, let me tell you something. Marloes Coenen has 17 submissions. 17. There is nobody on Holly Holm's resume with 17 submissions. Nobody. Do you know how hard it is to submit 17 different people? 17 people submitted. There's 17 different styles. Okay, there's 17 different, body movements. You got to be a skilled opponent to get in there and submit that amount of people. But see, you got Inside the Crapagon and all these other TV shows, and you got people coming on here talking about, oh, well, man, they didn't mean it. They said everything good about something. No, stop. They didn't. Because if those guys really knew who Marloes Coenen was, they would have shut their mouth about that statement. That's what they would have did. There's nobody on Holly Holm's resume with 17 submissions. The closest person on Holly Holm's resume with 17 submissions is Ronda Rousey. And Ronda Rousey got 9 submissions. And if you add up all the people on Holly Holm's resume all together, I think the submission rate is about, 27? Cyborg fought one person with 17 submissions. One person. Not only didn't fight her one time, she fought her twice. Do you understand how dangerous an opponent Marloes Coenen was? This was a dangerous fight for Cyborg as well. She didn't just come in there and blow this trailblazer out of there. That's because trailblazers don't get blown out that often. That's why we call them trailblazers, because they're the best to ever do the sport. Then, you know, people, oh, well, you know, she picked on Tanya Evinger. That's another trailblazer. But see, I know she's not going to ever get credit for Tanya Evinger, so I ain't even put Tanya Evinger's name in this. But that's another trailblazer. That's another trailblazer, another submission specialist. A person who they build their career on submitting people. They build their career on submitting people. Cyborg fought 2 of them. Okay, she fought 2 of them and made it through. Could Holly Holm do that? Nah. She fought Miesha Tate, a submission specialist. She failed. See, let's not get it twisted. It takes a certain amount of skill to submit people, and it takes a darn certain amount of skill to survive in a fight with them. That's what they won't tell you. Marloes Coenen is what? She was the Strikeforce Bantamweight champion. The girl was what? A Dutch national jiu-jitsu champion. Guys, that's big. That's huge. Okay? It's huge. This woman knows how to grapple. And you know what? And then when I tell people when I tell people about the Abu Dhabi, what's that? Wait a minute. You don't know about the Abu Dhabi. But you claim to be a fight fan. Okay, you claim to be a fight fan, but you don't know what the Abu Dhabi is. That's one of the biggest grappling tournaments in the world. It's sort of similar. Okay, I compare it. It's like the Eddie Bravo. Okay, it's like the Eddie Bravo, but I think the competition level at the Abu Dhabi, I think it's much more intense than the Eddie Bravo. They're both good tournaments, but this is the best of the best. And Marloes Coenen went into that tournament, and she was a bronze medalist back in, I think, 05 or 07. 05, 07, 05, 06, or one of them 3 days, okay? It's still on the top of my dome. She went in there, and she got a bronze medal. That tournament is tough. Okay, I mean, there are people getting injured. They're getting submitted. That tournament is one of the toughest in the world. It's tougher than the Eddie Bravo. I can tell you that right now. But there's no credit given because Cris Cyborg beat her. See, there is a bias and a prejudice towards Cris Cyborg. And it's very real. Okay, it is extremely real. It's not by coincidence that these guys are making these statements on TV. They can't give Cris her credit. Okay, and everybody gonna say, well, it's the money sells, you know, it's the money this. And you know what? When Cris win the fight on Saturday, when she win, okay, they're gonna discredit this win too, because of the bias. Now, see, if they can't beat Cris Cyborg inside the octagon, you know they're gonna try to beat her outside the octagon. See, they're mentally trying to break Cris Cyborg down. Is what they're doing. They're doing it mentally because they don't want this woman as a champion of any sort. And you can say, but they built the division for Cyborg. What division? That's easily debunked. What division? Is there anybody else in the division? But see, let Holly Holm win the title. That division will be populated in no time. And Cris Cyborg will not get an immediate rematch. Forget what you heard. She's not getting a rematch. Now, here's the thing. When you talk about Marloes Coenen, you better come at Marloes Coenen with some respect. You better come at her with respect. This woman has done so much in her career. She's done so much in her career. I mean, I can go through her resume and tell you she's fought the best in the world. She's fought the best to ever step into an octagon. Marloes Coenen has done this. And she's done it consistently over time until she lost her final 2 fights, and that's because she aged out. But see, making this woman like a nobody on Cyborg's resume, and it's like they're trying to forget it. And also they try to forget Jarena JoJo Bars. See, they don't want to make that fight relevant. That fight's very relevant. You know why? Because if Cyborg can take that from a very high level kickboxer in JoJo Bars, Muay Thai kickboxer, Jarena JoJo Bars' level of skill is much more than Holly Holm when it comes to this type of fight. And I keep telling y'all that Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, she is a kickboxer that fights in the octagon. That's what it is. Love it or like it, that's what it is. Her level of skill set, she's not skillful than Jarena Bars. She is not more skillful than JoJo Bars. Absolutely not. And if I show you JoJo Bars' resume in the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing, if I show you that resume, Your mouth gonna drop. Cyborg has faced the opponents. She has faced the high-level strikers. She's faced the high-level grapplers. See, that debunks anything that anybody trying to say. But here it is, though. Cyborg gonna have the last word. She will have the last word. Stay tuned. My next breakdown, my mini breakdown. These are mini breakdowns. Because if I did a full breakdown on Marloes Coenen, trust me, this video will be about an hour long, okay? But I'm doing my mini breakdown on Gina Carano. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe to the best. The best. And I mean the best. There are no imitations. Women's MMA platform on YouTube. I'm done. Subscribe.